Today I'm sharing some all new DIY Christmas ornaments as part of my Christmas in July series. Welcome to CreArtive by Nature DIYs and Decor. My name is Donna. For this first ornament, I'm using this 3.5-inch natural wood slice. I picked this up from my local craft store, but you can pick them up in lots of different places. So Kelly requested if I could do some lumberjack rustic ornaments, and so I thought this was absolutely fitting. I am adding this eye hook to the top. I'm just using a nail just to kind of pierce through the bark of this one. And then I'm going to just press and start to turn this in. I did end up having to use a tool, and that just helped me get a better grip on this, and I was able to get it in quite easily. So that is going to be our ornament hanger. Now I'm going to trace around our wood slice, and it's because I am doing something I have never done before and I've been wanting to try it for a really long time, and that is wood burning. I'm creating my design here on my paper, and this is just to give me a rough idea of what I want my design to look like. Just something very simple. I had seen lots of inspiration on Pinterest, so I'm just kind of basing my design off of what I've seen online. And of course, since this is a lumberjack theme, I thought it would be fitting to do a tree design in the hills or in the mountains. So feel free to erase your mistakes like I am doing here. And then once you are satisfied with your design, you can then go ahead and do it on your wood slice. Now, thankfully, pencil does erase on wood as well, so I did end up having to change it a little bit, but I just used my eraser and it worked really well. So I'm just going to continue to work on my design on my wood slice, and then we'll move to the next step. All right, so this is the tip I'm using for my wood burner, and it's all ready to go. Make sure you have got a hot plate beside you. And then I'm just going to go for it. I'm tracing over my pencil lines with the wood burner. I have never done this before, so you're seeing me do this for the very first time. And I have to say, I really like it. It's going to take a bit of time for me to get used to, but I could definitely see myself doing this more. So yeah, I liked it. So once I went over the main pencil lines, I just went ahead and I feathered in some more branches on my trees. I thought it just filled it in really nicely and gave a little bit more of a realistic look. And now I'm just going over my hill lines as well. I have to say, I'm pretty impressed that this was my first time and I was able to do this. It was great. So now I'm just erasing my pencil lines, and then I'm going to paint in some snow. So I'm just using this off-white paint and I'm mixing it in with a bit of water. I just wanted it to be a bit more like a wash. I didn't want a thick paint because I wanted to see the wood grain come through as well. So I'm just going to fill in the snowy area, and I'm making sure not to cover up the wood burned lines. Once you have the snow hills filled in, you can then go ahead and tap some little dots using the back of your paintbrush to make it look like it's snowing. I've allowed it to dry, and now I'm going to add my trim. So I've got this just plain ribbon from my stash, and I'm using that to create my hanger. So I'm just going to put it through my eye hook and then just tie a knot at the back. And then this is some black and red gingham. It reminded me of buffalo check, and buffalo check is a pattern that lumberjacks wear. So I thought it was so fitting to use this for this particular ornament. So I want to say thank you, Kelly, for the suggestion of doing lumberjack themed ornaments. So I'm just going to tie a simple bow out of that ribbon, and then I am going to use hot glue to attach it. And I got this ribbon from Dollar Tree. This was so fun to make, and I actually can't wait to make more. I think it would make wonderful gifts, especially on top of a present or something. I love how this turned out.
So
I thought I'd create another forest themed ornament. I've got these white ornaments from Dollar Tree, they're plastic, and I had this pine cone evergreen napkin in my stash. I will be using some Decoupage glue in the matte finish from DecoArt. So to remove the backing of our napkin, I like to use some tape, and that will lift those layers really easily. Sometimes the napkins just have the 2 layers. This one had 3, so I needed to remove 2 backing, and I'll definitely reveal that beautiful pattern so much better. So before we move on, I need to rip down my napkin into more usable pieces. I just like to tear it. I don't like to cut it. I just find that it creates more organic, smooth edges when I go to decoupage. I love to decoupage. I really, really do. I think it's so satisfying. And so what I am just doing here is just your basic application. You put a layer of the decoupage glue on your surface and then press your napkin or tissue paper, whatever you are using, into the glue, and then you want to go over top with another layer of glue. You do want to make sure that you get some underneath properly. That will prevent any bubbling from happening. So I'm going to continue to work on my layers, and then I will set it aside and allow it to dry. Okay, so my ornament is all dry and it looks awesome, but I wanted to decorate the top of the ornament. So I have these evergreen pipe cleaners. I picked these up at my local dollar store. I believe somebody said you can get something similar to these at Hobby Lobby down in the States. I'm not sure though. I'm in Canada, and so you'll have to check out your local craft stores. I applied that to the topper. I wanted to camouflage that. I didn't think it was very fitting with this forest ornament. And then I am making just a simple loopy bow out of some green jute twine I had in my stash. And again, I'll just be using my hot glue to apply that. So now I'm going to continue to decorate the top. I have these really pretty kind of frosted pine cones, and I'm cutting them down just so that they're not so big and bulky. And I am going to glue those in around the topper. Next, I'm adding some little pieces of our evergreen pipe cleaner as well, just to tie it all in together. I think it's looking great. I'm really loving these. This decoupage project was so easy to do as well. It again would make wonderful gifts if you made like a set of 3 for somebody. So I am going to go ahead and tie on a piece of our green jute string. Struggling with it a little bit there, so I used my wire cutters as a support to prevent it from rolling off on me. I did end up going ahead and filling it in all the way around. I just thought it looked a little better, but feel free to do any way you'd like. I am loving it. It is perfect for that forest and nature look, fitting if you are wanting to go with that lumberjack theme for your tree as well. All right, now I'm into the nautical look. I got these decorative pieces from Dollar Tree, and this was suggested by Marta. I have done one other project that she had requested using this coastal rustic decor look as well. It was a wreath, and that will be in the Christmas in July playlist that I will have posted for all of you at the end of this video. I'm using some Spa Blue and Sea Spray Blue. Those are both DecoArt craft paints, along with some metallic white pearl paint and my favorite glitter paint that again is put out by DecoArt as well, and it is the ice crystal. So I am painting my ornaments. I give 1 to 2 coats on each, and then I allow them both to dry well. They're all nice and dry, and now it's up time to apply these different finishes. So I'm starting off with the ice crystal in the ultra fine glitter. It's like glamour glitter paint. It is my favorite. It really is. It's such a beautiful, delicate glitter, and it has such a pretty sheen to it. I apply 2 coats of that and allow it to dry well. Next, I am going to use the pearl paint, or the metallic white pearl, on the starfish. Now, this is the first time I'm using this one. I'm not sure, maybe it would have worked better if I mixed it in with the paint. You could do it either way, but I really like how this looks as well. So besides the wreath, this is the second time now I've done some nautical theme decor. So again, Marta, I appreciate the suggestion. It really helped my need for a challenge. I love challenges like this, so I really do appreciate that suggestion. So I've got my starfish all nice and dry, so I'm just going to use this blue baker's twine. I'm just going to attach a loop on the back, but I thought it would be really fun to use some little bells. So I had these bells in my stash, and they were a pretty blue color. Just using some tape on the end of my twine just to make it easier for me to string these little bells on. I just thought that by adding the bells, it would just add to that Christmas look. And feel free to omit this part, or if you want, you could even use some beads or even some buttons I thought would be really pretty. So I'm just going to glue this using some hot glue on the back side of our starfish. So the bells were giving me a little grief here, so I decided just to add the tiniest little bit of hot glue in the cluster, and that helped to hold them into place where I wanted them to be. So this next step is optional, but I'm using an iridescent sequin actually, and I'm adding a little dollop of hot glue and I'm placing it over the knot. I just kind of wanted to camouflage that knot. It just, I don't know, just looked a little untidy, so I just did that, and now I'm just removing the tape off of our hanger. I am tying a knot just above the bells. That'll again help to hold them into place, and then I'm ready to work on the sand dollar. So for the sand dollar, you can see the beautiful shimmer that it has. It's so pretty. Again, I'm using the baker's twine, but this time I'm just looping it through one of the holes on this piece, and I'm going to tie just a basic knot. I'm adding some bells to this piece as well. So again, I'm just adding some tape to the top of our twine to make it easier for us to thread these beautiful bells on. I believe these bells were actually vintage. I found them at the thrift store, and they had a little bit of a different look than you would see at a dollar store. They are really pretty. So here they are. They're all ready to be hung on a tree. Again, Marta, I appreciate your suggestion. I really had fun making these. All right, so I dove into my stash of branches. You'll need a branch that's got a fork, such as this one. And then I'm using this miniature wreath that I had in my stash, but if you don't have one of those, that's okay. I have a tutorial on how to make some bird's nests That's right, we're making a bird's nest. So I'm just using a little bit of Spanish moss, and I thought it would be really easy to make a simple little bird's nest using the wreath such as this. So I'm just applying some of the Spanish moss in the middle using some hot glue. Now this was a request that was put out by Tammy. She likes to see all those natural elements that I use, and she did ask either bird's house or bird's nest, so stay tuned. I'm going to have more to come for you. And just to let you know, if I don't get to your request, stay tuned for the upcoming Christmas season, as I will do my best to fulfill your requests then. It's probably just because I had a hard time getting my hands on some of those supplies. All right, so I'm just trimming up our branch, and I'm going to apply the nest to the Y that you see right there on our branch. I want it to look like it's nestled right in there. So I'm just figuring out my placement, where to put my hot glue, and I'm just going to put a good amount of hot glue and then press the nest into place and hold it till it sets. Once it's set, then you can start to just trim the branch right down. You know what size you need, but of course it depends on the branch that you have. Now I'm going to decorate it. Again, I'm using some faux snow and these beautiful frosted pine cones. I got those from Dollar Tree. They're so pretty. But I wanted to just add a touch of snow first before I continued on. So I'm adding it to the branches using my hot glue and pressing the snow into place. And then I'm going to add some on the nest as well. So here I am starting to apply my pine cones using some hot glue, but I had pulled these off of a garland that I had picked up from Dollar Tree. So I was just cutting off the wires, as you could see right there. And again, just use your hot glue and press these into place and hold till set. Dollar Tree has had these wired pine cone garlands the last couple of years, and they come out with some different styles, so definitely check your store out. So once you've got some pine cones into place, I decided to add some evergreen. Again, these beautiful sprigs are from Dollar Tree. They've got some glitter and kind of a frosted look, and I like the delicate fronds that they had. I thought it looked a lot like an evergreen. So I'm just adding some little snippets here and there until I am happy with the look that we are going for. If you want, you could definitely add some like holly leaves. That would be really pretty. Some flowers, anything you have in your stash. So I've got my nest all decorated now to add a little bird. Now I would have used a red cardinal if I had one in my stash. I didn't. So I'm just using what I have. I have this cute little pink bird. I still think it looks really pretty. Some little roses would be really cute in there as well with this bird, but I'm just going with what I have. All right, now to create the hanger. I'm using jute twine and I'm tying just a basic knot onto each branch. Once you have a strand tied onto each branch end, then you can gather all those strands together, and what you want to do is just hang it and figure out where it is balanced and sitting steadily, and that is where you are going to tie all those clusters together, and that will create your hanger. All right, so now I am going to just add a dollop of glue on the knots that are on the branches. That will help to hold the knots together so they don't unravel, and just trim off any of the excess twine, and then it's ready to be hung on the tree. I am loving this. This is going to look so cute in our tree come the Christmas season, and this would be great to make for a craft fair or again a gift. And you could use any decoration or bird that's in your stash. Let me know which is your favorite by leaving me a comment below, and thanks to all the ladies for these awesome suggestions. Here's some more Christmas DIYs to check out, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.